Mhm.
So, good evening, everybody. We do this session again with Kaushal. I'll come back
Hi.
very shortly with much detail outline of Kaushal. But before we start, I just wanted to spend a word or two on this particular series. This is the
Mhm.
initiative from Heartcrafted Foundation, uh, where we are trying to showcase some of the
Mhm.
individuals who have done, ordinary individuals who have done extraordinary things during the COVID times.
Right.
When the whole lockdown started on 23rd March, all of us were initially thinking that, what happens to me? Obviously, we are all concerned about our supplies, our life. But
Right.
very soon we understood that there is a very large segment of the society who loosely we call the underprivileged are actually in a much deeper trouble.
Right.
We all know about the migrant crisis where people overnight lost their jobs, lost their income, and probably were struggling to have their square meal and started traveling on foot from one corner of the country to the other. But
Right.
there was another equally large, if not larger, segment of people who probably need not have to travel to their hometowns, but faced almost the same situation of no income, no money, and no food. And this is just
Right.
one aspect of the challenge they faced. Some of them face challenge of shelter, some healthcare, and it is now well documented that thousands of Indians stood up during that time, went much beyond their duties of a citizen and supported lakhs of people. In fact, it is now widely acknowledged that had not been this support which came from ordinary Indians, probably the tragedy would have been much bigger. We know
Right.
that around 1,000 people died while traveling back home, but probably that number would have been in thousands had this support system not been there. And nobody really asked these people. And of course, early days government was not ready, so that vital gap was fulfilled by certain people. And Kaushal is one of them, and we are going to talk about him. In fact, rather, he is going to talk about the work he has done. Now, Kaushal, briefly, I know him for quite a while. He's Kaushalendra Singh Yadav, who is a BTech from IIT Kanpur in 2002, and he also did his MBA. He has worked in a couple of corporates like Infosys was his first job, but then he's primarily in the startup sector. And a couple of years back, he started a very interesting organization in the space of connecting the farmers directly with the consumers. Farmveda. In fact, I am a big fan and a consumer of the products of that company. This company has been formed in partnership with Professor Trilochan Shastri, who is a very prominent academician from IIM Bangalore and has been working in this space for many years. Kaushal is also active in many other areas. I see him constantly supporting various startup forums, and also active member of Center for Collective Development. And while Kaushal and his team is busy in the and suffered the same challenges which many organizations, in fact, all the businesses faced during the COVID times. What is exceptional about him is that through the Center for Collective Development, uh, uh, he went out trying to support people as much as possible. In fact, I forwarded many of his blogs to people as examples of how young people in India is standing up for the underprivileged today. In the very early days when we are all hiding in our house, frankly, scared of COVID. I know that Kaushal and a few others used to drive down on the roads of Bangalore trying to, supply support to people who have nowhere to go. I was just going through the blogs today again, and I picked up some numbers. There is this 40 odd lakhs of food and milk and other essential supplies have been given to people across India. It's not just in Bangalore. But then to get more details of this journey, I will rather go back to Kaushal and ask him some questions which he is best placed to answer. So, Kaushal, welcome to this. Thanks for
Thank you,
taking
sir.
time. I will start with this now. Of course, I know a little bit about your background, and all of us faced very troubling times. Let us be honest. When we saw these people, and there are many of them are very close to us, as our home support and even otherwise, right? But very few people actually, though it may be thousands in the country, but very few people actually went out of their way to support, and especially people who went out physically, because that fear of catching COVID was there, right? It was very real. So what sort of motivated you to really put a step forward and really taking a sort of a decision which could have endangered you and your family? So what was the trigger point? You know, uh, what really made you do this? What was the calling, if I may say? Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll start with little background of CCD and Farmveda and Solutions Sastri sir. So basically, as
If
you
you can
said,
be
I
a
am a
little louder, it will be
okay.
better. Yeah, you can just
So
be, or maybe close to the, yeah. Please go ahead.
uh, right. So my background has been technology and software. Graduated in 2002, and since 2002 till 2018, I was part of initially multinationals, our own Infosys, and then from 2014 to 2018, I was part of my own software services startup called Mantra Labs. But during this time, I always had this inclination of getting to development sector or doing something, but was never getting an opportunity before, right? And never, like, you have that, you are in no driving in some lane and you want to switch lanes, you need to have that perfect exit, and then you do that. So in 2017, we are part of IT Kanpur group, where we have this social entrepreneurs and enterprises group, where we were doing a program on agriculture. It was in September, November 2017, and I was leading that. And in that, we came across Professor Tilochan Sastri, who teaches in IIM Bangalore. That was the first time I got to know about him. And then after that event, we thought, okay, we'll help him more. The organizations which are based out of Bangalore, how can we help them more? So 4 5 of us, Paritosh ji and Balkrishna Birla, we went to professor and met him what he's doing, and then we got to know the extent of work he has done. So Trilochan Sastri is also an IIT Delhi graduate. He has done his MBA from IIM Ahmedabad, and he went to MIT to do his PhD. And he's such a great man. He has devoted his life for work related to public. He is not married. I didn't know that. He's a bachelor.
Mhm.
And in 1999, he started another organization called Association of Democratic Reforms, which is a huge organization. I mean, I will not go deep into it. Mainly, it's basically in political space, where it is telling a lot about how many criminal politicians are there, what are the ways of funding. So a political view, where a lot of data for common citizen to get to know about politicians and political party and take an informed decision while voting. And adrindia.org right now is doing such a great job. We are getting to know a lot from them. So this is the background of Professor Tulochan Sastri, how he thinks about in general society, what we are doing and all that. In 2005, he started another NGO called Center for Collective Development, we just mentioned. There, he was trying to replicate Amul, because he, after studying everything, he thought that for farmers to come out of poverty, they have to do similar job what Amul did for milk-based farmers. And Amul is a success story. People have actually come out of poverty. They are able to take care of education of their kids, because they are the owners of that cooperative. The Amul brand, it is 30,000 crore company right now, and all the profit mostly goes to these farmers or milk farmers. So he said, if in one area we can do that, why can't we do it for people who are growing grains, pulses in the areas where there is no rain, there is no not enough facilities, small land holdings. So he started Center for Collective Development, and 2005 to 2020, today we are working with 36,000 farmers in Telangana, Andhra, and where we have peanut cooperatives in in Anandpur. We have tur dal soya cotton farmers in Adilabad, and we have mango farmers in this Chittoor area. So what I'm trying to say is, Trilochan Sastri, ADR, through that he did a great job. That is working right now. That NGO, CCD, another NGO which is doing tremendous job. So when I came across and met him and got to know him, I was looking for that safe exit. How can I get into a development sector where I don't have to take so much pay cut, but I can survive, right? So he offered me that exit, and that's when I joined Farmveda and CCD in 2018 full time. Uh, so this is the story of me and how we came across together. You asked us in this current situation how what we did. So basically, Farmveda, now a little bit more about CCD works with farmers. We aggregate their produce, we help them set up some processing units, and these are owned by these people, and then we help them sell in bulk this grain to in B2B, so they can get the margin of a processor and an aggregator. So in mota they are getting 70% more money what they were getting earlier at that stage. Then in 2016, professors thought Amul has a brand name Amul, and they sell products under that brand name, and B2C consumers are buying those products, and they are good products. That profit is more in value added products. So he started Farmveda branded products, and we are selling right now 16 SKUs through online and offline channels. So when COVID, just before COVID, we were setting up our processing unit, our production units, and we are gradually increasing our revenues. But as COVID came, everything halted. Our offline business stopped because no one was allowed to move anywhere. Online also stopped because we were relying on courier, and courier didn't work. So first thought of our company and me and my team was, what can we do now? Because we are not able to do anything. So we realized at least we can supply food uh, in Bangalore, because this is in our hands. So immediately after 3 4 days, when it was allowed to get passes, we applied for passes for vehicles and for us, and we got the passes. So that time, a lot of people were panicking that lockdown is there and our products are ready to eat and ready to cook products. So we asked people that order and we will deliver. People were surprised that we will be able to deliver, and we were having this notion that okay, at least we'll be able to do something, and people will be in need and no one is able to come out, so we will do that. At that time we are not thinking much about getting infected ourselves, because no one was on the roads, and uh, no one was allowed. Even that was the quietest Bangalore I have seen. That was the time when we could reach from Marathalli to HSR to Silk Board in 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. That was like dream. I mean, there was no one was there literally. So we felt lucky that time that we have got these passes, no one on the road, and we can go anywhere within shortest amount of time. And I think there was no chance of getting infected because no one was outside. I mean, we were not interacting with many people because delivery was such that we had to deliver at the gate and go away. So when we think about it, that when you are out, there is a chance. But that time, first week, second week of the lockdown, it was no one was on the road, and that time Professor Sastri was in IIM within his campus, and IIM security was so tight, they were not allowing him to go out. And the kind of person he is, he always keeps thinking about people. So when he started looking at news and all, when he realized that no one is able to do anything, first thought was how these people were working on daily basis, earning on daily basis. How are they going to survive? And he was itching. I mean, we were able to come out, but he was not allowed of IM, because IM fraternity said, if you go out, we will not let you in.
Mhm.
So for first 3-4 days, he was kind of stuck, but later he forced himself out. He said, whatever happens, I cannot sit here. I have to go out. I have to see people who, how they, what they are doing, how they are doing. And then when we got the licenses for vehicles and for passes, so we have one Scorpio and one Omni for our business. So professor started. So it was he who started actually this thing. We were looking at the business side of it, like Farmveda products. Even we supplied some grocery items which we were not selling. We told our customers that if you need any other products also, we will buy from other shops and deliver it to you, because we were able to come out. We had that license and we could deliver. So first, when there was like, we didn't know whether these malls will open or not open. So that time, first week, some people ordered other grocery stuffs, and we along with Farmveda products, we also delivered those. And then professor started coming out, and so half of the team was visiting with him, and half of the team was looking after the delivery of Farmveda products. But then when we came out and we started visiting these areas, like in just behind IM, there is a lot of area, Bilekali, Halimavu, and then HSR, and then Belendur. And first day he went to this HSR area, and then he went to Yelahanka area also, where first call was from some transgenders, because they were not, I think they mainly beg at the traffic and all that. But since no traffic, they were in very bad shape. So first day, initial thought was that we will, professor will use his money, and we will buy some rice and some dal, and we'll go to these people and distribute. So we picked some areas like, okay, HSR and wherever we'll get, and we avoided any WhatsApp group, because he realized that people who are little well off but not having means, they are having WhatsApp. But most of these migrant laborers who were, staying behind these bigger corporate offices, behind these bigger hospitals, in the tarpaulin and all, they were not having WhatsApp messages also. So our team mainly focused on Reiki, where we used to go and find these areas, and then we started distributing there initially. So then we realized entire Bangalore we cannot do, because there is so much to do nearby only. So Halimau, HSR layout, Belendur, all this area we picked, and we started distributing there. Uh, um, Initially, we were buying from Mandi, wholesale. We found some rates which were mainly, we distributed rice, tur dal, salt, sugar, and oil. So um then slowly we got help from constables actually, because they knew those areas very well. In Halimau, in HSR layout, police station, Hosa Road, all these areas, these constables were going with us, and we were, distributing this food. After 1 or 2 weeks, when we got to know that this is going to get extended, then situation became little more worse, because then people came, people used to come out, and they say that either you give to us, we will distribute, or you will not let you distribute also. And there were different communities, like some Kannada speaking people, some Bihari people, some Bengali people. So it was getting very difficult among themselves. They were saying, the Biharis were saying, if you give them, they will not give us. So then professor came out with a scheme where we started working with a trader. We said, you give us stamps, coupons, where one coupon will give them 5 kg rice, 1 kg tur dal, half liter oil, and or 3 kg rice and 2 kg atta if someone prefers atta. So we will distribute these chits, and then these people can go to this store which we tell them, and they can get those, and we will reimburse the money to that trader based on those chits, because it was getting difficult physically distribute that. So, and then initially first 2 weeks he was thinking that we will manage with our own funds, but then when it started, like situation become bigger, and lockdown got extended, and then also other than tarpaulin people, some pakka house where people were staying in those 10 by 10 feet. But here there he initially thought that these guys would be well off, but then these guys were carpenters, laborers, doing these kind of jobs, all well respected people, but they were running out of their money. And then in those areas also we had to go and distribute, because as soon as the vehicle used to reach in any area, people were running after it, and it was very, very difficult to maintain the social distancing and do the distribution. So these so we worked with two traders like that, where we were taking chits from them, and then we were distributing, and we were doing direct distribution also where we could. So in my team we have 6 people. Out of that, Shivam, Hemant, Jabhim, and from SIRS, I am Bangalore, there was another professor, Professor Raju Lakshmi, and then these three constables from different various police stations. They were roaming around most of the times, and they were doing the distribution. In between, we also managed to get some rice from FCI godowns, because there was a scheme from government where they said that FCI will give rice at subsidized rate to the NGOs who are doing this kind of distribution. So that was good. We could get around 8 tons of rice from FCI in KR Puram, and we distributed that ourselves. And there were some groups who are doing good distribution, whom we found they were honest and they were doing good job. So we used them also to because we had this NGO CCD and against CCD, and then in between we also started getting donations. You also gave money. So a lot of people donated money to CCD for the kind of work we were doing, because professor was transparent from the day one. And 30th March was the first day he ventured out, and after that he was writing daily what we are doing, where we, in which areas we were going, and where are we spending money. We ensured that we spent all money on the food. No money was taken for the vehicles we are using, or for people from Farmveda who are working in that. So no operational money, no volunteer money, nothing. All the money which came out, that was used to purchase rice, tur dal, salt, sugar, and we were figuring out where we can get the good quality product at the cheap rates. So we tried mandis also, we tried rice traders also, and finally we got some rice from FCI godowns also. So this was in Bangalore, and then later we realized that our cooperative members are in Adilabad. There, these tribal people who have come back from cities, and also those who were staying there, they were also having issues. So professor took permission from the donors that can we deploy some funds in our area, in where CCD is working in Adilabad, in the tribal zone. So they allowed, and we distributed food from there. Some local well of farmers also distributed money, and our entire CCD team in that area was in mobilized to distribute this food to these tribal people. The CCD team in Anandpur also, they also got active, because a lot of people who were traveling back from Chennai and Karnataka towards north, they were traveling via this route on Hyderabad road. So they were going by our mill in uh, Penukonda, in just opposite to the Kia factory which has come out. So all the travelers in all the buses where people were going back, or they were walking back, we started making this food which they can carry with them and go there. So they also distributed a lot of food there. Uh, it was recognized, and Professor Sastri were given a certificate by their district collector or someone as a Corona warrior for the work CCD and Anandpur team did in that area. So yeah, a lot of foundations also came across later. They also donated some money. So I think around 92 lakhs of funds Professor Sastri managed and mobilized in during this, where it was initially started by distributing in tarpaulin tents, and then later to pakka houses where these people were staying in 10 by 10, 5 to 6 people, where he realized that social distancing was anyway not possible. I mean, one five people are staying in 10 by 10 foot room, and then 10 to 20 such rooms are sharing one common toilet. It was not possible. People, and it all started in first week. People thought this might get over in 1 2 weeks, but as it got extended, problems started becoming bigger, and these kind of issues started coming. Even professor feared in between that this might lead to riots, but because of and but he also found a lot of, like, couple of business people he found who were distributing food or milk or biscuits. So as you said, lot of Bangaloreans, they actually distributed a lot of food, and government was also doing it, but they were through Indra canteen they were supplying, but there was not enough food. Lines were too long, and not everyone was getting food. Plus they were giving them the cooked food, so cooked food you cannot keep it for long. I mean, it is for that day itself. So those were the issues. Plus the government machinery, whatever they were distributing from government channels, that was to the mostly to the people who were having ration cards or voter ID or Aadhaar. But most of the migrant workers who were there from Bihar and Bengal and all that, they were left out. So our team basically tried to find these people and distribute the food as much as we could.
Nice. Very good. I think you gave a very comprehensive, um, as the picture. I probably don't have any further question. You also covered that, so almost a crore was raised, so which is huge. And I think that is what, as towards the end, you said that there was a fear of riots. And I think that fear is still there because COVID is, this fear, the financial
No,
problem
but
continues.
at least now people are asked to go out. There is no restriction on not
Right,
moving
right,
out. So
right.
those
No,
who
I'm
are
talking of
able
the
to do it
poverty,
on job,
but
right,
as you rightly said that there is a genuine fear that there will be people will uh, retaliate, or there is they might break into some shops and try to get food, but for this good uh, interventions of good Samaritans, I think the whole
right,
country, not just Bangalore, but more or less things did not go out of hand, which could have really been a issue. And country of our size,
right,
it could have been uncontrollable.
right.
So I probably have just one question after this. So you mentioned a lot of things and a lot of goodwill, a lot of support. But would you like to take any anecdotes or any particular story which sort of touched you, which was probably surprised you or made you very happy, or you saw some fighting spirit or some humanity or something like that? I saw quite a few in your blogs, but if you want to pick up anything.
Uh, One story where I think they were distributing milk coupons to kids,
Yeah.
and and then some kids came back, and when we were giving them again, they said, "No, we have already got it. You give it to other people also." So that was
That's
really
amazing.
good
Where
gesture
was it,
from
by the
those
way?
kids
It was
because
on
they were
the,
small kids.
was it in
Yeah,
the road or somewhere, or in
no,
Bangalore?
it was in the, yeah, in Bangalore itself, in one of the communities when we were distributing. So they said we have already got these coupons, which actually
Mhm.
you might find that no, as much food as you can grab will help,
Yeah,
but
yeah. No, this is something, I must tell you that, this is one anecdote I wanted to share, because one day one friend of mine reached out to me saying that, I know some groups are doing it. Can you connect us with them? Because my painter who is from UP got stuck. And I sort of connected him with that group. There's a different group who are also doing crowdfunding and local ration sort of thing. And then he did not respond for 2 days. Then I said, what happened to the carpenter? He said that my carpenter. I called him. He said, no, he's getting ration, so he doesn't want to grab more than what he need,
Yeah.
because let others have it, because nobody is having anything. So I think the
Right.
dignity of the individuals and humanity is much more widespread than we normally feel. We always, if you go back, pre-COVID times, we all felt that, the society has gone to dogs and everybody is behind everybody. But this is a great reset. That way, I think a lot of faith has been
No, sir. I
restored.
mean, it
And
was amazing how many people were distributing biscuits, food. Uh, in fact, almost below every flyover, some one or two people on the scooter or anything, they were distributing something or the other.
right, right.
Large
No,
groups like
that's
ours
true.
were active, but I think in general, people are, they felt that this is something different. This is where we all have to support each other. Otherwise, it would have been very difficult to
Right.
survive this phase. Even people who have some surplus and who are well off in, houses, they could have survived it. And they also, after 4 5 months, it might get difficult for them.
Yes,
But
yes,
people who are
absolutely,
working,
absolutely.
earning
This
daily,
is another point.
people who are, and lot of these migrant laborers, they also didn't realize that they will get stuck for so long.
So long.
Initial was like 1 or 2 week, and probably will get back to work. But what we reverse migration we saw, it was after third fourth week, when there was no ray of hope that they will start getting some work
They'll
and they will
start
start
getting
earning something. So when they realized that, then only its migration started, and people thought it's better to walk 2000 kilometers and reach to your natives than stay here and no, you have to beg for food, because not everyone is willing to beg for food. People
absolutely,
have that self esteem that they don't want
absolutely,
to.
and the uncertainty.
So yeah, so I think that was the major reason, because it got extended. If it just got ended
Absolutely.
in 2 3 weeks, I think we all would have been happy. But that
Yeah,
was the main reason actually.
right.
So
And the other
now
point which you
lockdown
said
is
is
not
very
there, so that is helpful actually, because now it's not lockdown. Everyone can make their informed decision and take care of their own safety now, which is I think good.
yeah. And I think the other point which you said, that somebody, maybe the staying power is 2 weeks, somebody 2 months. But everybody felt, I think at least a lot of people feel that, it may be today for somebody else, but tomorrow it can be me. As you said,
Yeah,
the initially maybe the absolute people under tarpaulin are suffering. After 3 weeks, people under the roof is suffering. After 6 weeks, somebody else. Yes.
yeah,
So
and there
that
was no
that is
end. I
something
mean,
extraordinary.
rich or poor, I mean, if you get affected, everyone is same. Your money is not going to help you if you
Right,
catch COVID
right,
and God forbid you have to go to hospital.
right, right. No, that is
Whatever amount of
another
money, it's
aspect.
not
All
going to help in this situation.
absolutely. So that is one, in a way, uh, there are a lot of lessons for this whole thing. And as I am talking to more people like you, there are a lot of positives in a very, probably in a very crude way, we have found out or learned. But nevertheless, hope it will make us better citizens, better human beings.
Yeah,
And thank you again for doing all that which you
thank you,
did.
sir.
We'll probably take another day to talk to Professor Shastri also.
Yeah,
Incidentally,
it
I'm
will
from
be
I am
great. I think
Bangalore,
he's
so
a
in a
great
way
man.
he's.
Yeah,
Hmm.
he
No,
is a
I'm saying
great
that
person.
I
I
am
mean,
also a MBA. I did my PGGM from I am Bangalore, so in a way he also taught
okay,
us during our time.
okay, okay.
So in a way he is my professor also. I met him a couple of years back when we went to campus. We had our 25th year, 20th year, 2016, 20th year. So we
Hmm.
spent some time, talked about, and he is doing extraordinary work. So we'll talk to him also some other time. But thank you so much for taking time, and keep up your
Thank
good work and continue. One is the social part, the other part is entrepreneurial side, which we are also, as I mentioned, is a great fan, especially my wife. So wish you all
No,
the very
actually,
best.
this also is no started by him. I have just joined him. I am a
Okay,
huge fan of his work, and uh, I just felt if I can contribute in any way in furthering whatever his vision is, because I
absolutely.
genuinely believe that Farmveda and CCD, whatever work they are doing, that is the way farmers can get elevated. Otherwise we can keep giving subsidies, we can keep
Absolutely, yeah.
no
There is no end to
loans
it.
and all that. They will never come out of it, because there are so many people who are benefiting on top of them. Unless we uh, help them to come out of that, take their destiny in their hands, it will be very difficult. So that I'm hoping that whatever we are doing, we have reached 36,000 already. We want to reach to no, millions, and in entire India. I mean, we have started working in Rajasthan, Orissa, MP, Jharkhand also, the CCD setup. Farmveda is also growing. I hope maybe we are able to touch more farmers and help them. And to the consumers, I just wish that okay, we they get to know about us, and if they like our products, they should buy, because our products, every profit actually is going towards farmers. I mean, they are our owners. We are employed by them to help them actually.
Yeah, sure. So wish you all the very best. Continue do your great work, you and your team, and meet again soon.
Yeah, thank you,
Good
sir.
night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, good night. Bye.
Bye.